Welcome one, welcome all one more time again. You just pardon us a little bit of a glitch there on our technical side, but we are happy to be back with you again wherever you are on the face of Africa and beyond the borders of Africa. Thank you very much for giving us access into your homes. Thank you very much for supporting us in whatever way possible. And I think if you are in South Africa and you are closer to me here, please come via the studio here. I want to start hearing other stories from across the oceans, from other places. So if you are coming to South Africa, I'm asking you please to call our studios. I would love to hear from you also when you're within our ground. There you are. Now people are getting married. Who decides who must marry who? Who makes a decision to marry?
You know, when we grow up where I come from, I remember I asked my mom, how did she get married? Uti, when she analyzed this story, I had a boyfriend who was working in mines. He would come home during holidays or when they are off. And then this other time, she was already planning to get married in December. And Ubaba has already noticed her going to the river, Amtwala. And I asked my father why. Ati Ubabami was working with his father in the mine. So they were very close. And my grandfather told his friend, good, I have a son and he wants to marry. And my grandfather from my mother's side, I also have a daughter that I think she's also ready to get married. So there was an arrangement between these two old people.
They engaged.
Yes.
The fathers engaged.
Because they are friends. Now they want to close this friendship. So my grandfather from my mother's side sent my mother to my village, knowing very well that she's not going to go back home. And Ubaba, she already knows Guti. There is a girl that is coming. From that side.
From the other village.
So and my mom was so frustrated because I had this person that I was waiting for. But because when I was waiting for my father to come and collect me, Labantu, they took cars, and I'm like, who is coming to get me? But no, and I think those arranged marriages had a way of lasting. And we didn't have options. Our fathers and mothers, they didn't have any options to choose for themselves. But now I think the problem that we have now,
too much choice.
You guys have a choice. And Nati, we are accessible. So that shoes, it's like, if in a shop you can't get in, we start summer apple, ulume li sweetile, li bitterly, ketile hamba no. You are feasting.
Yeah.
I think that is the problem now that we are currently having in our society. We have so many choices. You've got so much freedom to taste what we are not even willing to
buy.
And if umoshe umntana womuntu, you are obliged. You must marry lo muntu if umkhipha ubuntombi owakho. If pregnant, that person is pregnant. Umuntu wakho uzomisa kuphi?
Who else would want to come and marry after you?
No one.
Let's address this other issue. And thank you very much for that inset of that arranged marriages. I think it's a nice, beautiful story. When families marry, and then children wed, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because you have the parents first of all that actually unite.
Yes.
And so you already have the fathers in agreement, the mothers-in-law, they are already getting along together on the top side. By the time the children are coming into the space, should there be problems and challenges, I think you find that the roof
already has the support base.
The support base is there, and your mother will support you. And the father now must go and face his friend that your daughter is now messed up. So I think there's a place where a conversation of a marriage can take place. In modern days, where boys have become artificial by trying to market themselves as successful. You rent cars in Johannesburg over the holidays, go and get a GTI, a panty dropper, and then you drive it to Eastern Cape, Amazaza, Asentloko. You don't even own this car. You're paying 15,000, 20,000 for the holiday, and there you are. Driving around around the villages, and people say, yeah, there's this hot guy from Jordan. They don't even know you don't own the car. Having said that, phase 2, the ladies also are in the saloons. They have their artificial hairs, artificial nails, artificial eyebrows. Some of them are as dark as me. But after they have done their makeups, my yellow bones, Giles. So here you are with two people who are actually lying to each other. The boy is projecting a picture of success. The girl is projecting a picture of beauty, flawless beauty, no pimple, no nothing, everything covered. Boom, I love you, I love you. Come evening time, come 2 weeks later. You can hear where I'm going. How do we begin to deal with this depth of hypocrisy, which has become the basis of our boys and girls actually liking each other? And by the way, they don't like each other. They like what they see, and they like what they see.
You know, to come to that, unfortunately, I am a female, I will have to stand with female. I think when one wants to buy something, or when you want to buy yourself a car, you leave the house having this vision in your own mind, having this idea of what you want. When you go out there, you already know what you want. Now, there is this artificial woman, there is this natural woman, there is this slim woman, there is this big woman. You are at a buffet. You are actually very lucky. Why would you blame somebody or artificial when you walked to that person? You know very well naturally. But you are attracted by that. So when she takes them off, you know very well they are artificial. Yeah. Who do you blame?
Blame yourself.
Exactly, that's your choice.
It's your choice.
It goes back to the issue when about Maponga calling women gold diggers. You come to me driving that Polo Vivo. You saw me.
And by the way, I parked the Polo Vivo outside.
Exactly. You came to me driving that latest Polo Vivo. Ufake panty le Gucci. Ufake your nice shirt. Upmarket, nice, classy. You come to me. They say first impression counts, and you must keep it. If
that's what I want. Yes. And I've made a choice.
That's your
I like the way he
you
smells.
You won't tell me that I una mali. Do you expect a woman that you've met on that standard when you go down to go down with you?
It's difficult.
It's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
That is the level you choose.
If you came to me with a Polo, then keep it.
If you came with me in a Porsche,
I've told my friends, I'm now sitting in a Porsche here. You know, next week.
Because that's the kind of a woman you have attracted. And unfortunately, you have to maintain what you have presented. And now it becomes a problem now.
You mentioned something very important, I think, very, very important. That the projection that we show of who we are to each other, if that picture is wrong, then, and the person buys that picture, no matter how wrong it is, that picture must be maintained.
Exactly.
Must be maintained.
That is why Abantaba Obaba, they are under a lot of pressure because they want to fit in. They want to they believe that slave queens and all these kind of women are attracted by material. And they are real women, they are legit women who actually believes in hardworking, who actually believes in contributing in relationship, who still believes that I can be your support base, I can inspire you, I can help you where you need help. But you choose what you want. Unfortunately, in this time, it's still the responsibility of Baba who choose what they want. Like the recent incident that happened in Karankua, Hammarsdale, when a man hanged himself because they had disputes at home. He was losing everything. Now he had to leave the woman into the house. We can't blame that woman. That's the life the man chose.
He put himself under extreme pressure until he
can't maintain. If now Abandabango Baba would be actually genuine to themselves.
I hope you are listening to me and you're listening to Mama here saying something very serious. If you're going to be looking for a girlfriend, you'd rather under market and over deliver than over marketing and then you under-deliver.
That's
You'd
excellent.
rather go and look for a woman as simple as possible.
But kudala when abafana would want to marry, they will scout in a village, and when they are scouting, they would check a clean house. The one, a clean home, neat houses, and they would want to know who is staying there, how many girls are in this home, because whoever is looking after these houses, it's the mother and their daughters. It means that whoever that I take from this household will be able to look after.
And to make my home look like this
Exactly.
also. Wow, wow.
That's how abafana bakudala bebekhangela intombi ngakhona. It's either umuntu uzomthola eyokukhamanzi, it's either umuntu uzomthola ebuya ehlathini yokuthe. Those were the responsibilities of umuntu omama. Now things have changed. What are you looking for? Asisaye emfuleni, asisaye ehlathini, asisathabeki.
Siye emaphathini ke manje.
Then if you choose a patini, you must maintain the lifestyle as a patini. If you pump shampoo every weekend, you must maintain the lifestyle of yoku shampoo every weekend. Who would you blame?
Oh, kwashuba madoda. If you find your girlfriend and you spin some champagne and etc., umama lapa saying you better have a crate of them, because the lifestyle that you introduce me to when we are greeting each other, that's the lifestyle I'm buying into. Don't come around tomorrow having changed your storyline. Stay there. So at the end of the day, the arranged marriage is one thing, but the husband or the man will then look around for a girl that they want to marry and etc., and then tell their fathers, and then the necessary procedures would be handled from there to start building
and
a
the
home.
families will even go as far as to check the background.
I want you to go deep on that.
Of that family. Ingaba kuleya family abantu abakholwayo, abantu abangafundanga,
Are they educated?
abantu kunabulonyana okuthile ngaba bayasoleka na.
There's too much.
They do a lot of background check of the family.
So let's go slowly. You have seen what you want.
Yes.
You have checked out the house. Looks like the people there have hands. They're working.
Yes. Yes.
House is clean and etc. You don't go in and now say to the girl, Asam, let's go. You take the news back to your family. You relate your issues.
Yes.
The aunties and the uncles
would know.
Start sitting around with you and advising you. Oh, which family? No, that one across the river. Oh, Kwabanibani. Okay, Kwabanibani. And immediately they mention that family. The family, remember, they've been here longer than you.
Yes.
They already have a file
of that family.
Of the family. Now they might want to start accessing and say, how are the people dying in that family? How are they living in that family? How much wealth do they have in that family? Is there any traditional? Is there any amasiko alapana and etc.?
Yes,
And if they are not sure, in my village, for example, the aunties have a right when a boy has declared that he wants a girl from that family. The aunties have a right
to go there,
to go to that family and spend a day or two looking at the mothers, looking at the uncles, looking at the aunties. And then we have a proverb in my family that says, never marry a woman until you have seen the graves of the grandfathers. Because then you're able to assess and find out, okay, this is the establishment. Yes. This is the one. Yes. Then they come back. It's not you. You're not involved. It is the older people who go to do that research. Then they come back with a fresh file to build on top of the older file.
Yes, yes.
And then they start consolidating that file together. Hence, in my culture, a boy who wants to get married, you cannot walk up to your father and say, send it to Lumfas. I found a woman. Your father will beat you to death. Because who are you now? Are you saying now you want to become a man like me?
Yeah.
So you go to your father's youngest brother, the youngest, on his uncles.
Yes.
Then you whisper, because that one is almost your age. Say, hey, I found a woman. Then that one talks to his wife and takes the message to the older one, who also talks to his wife, and the aunties there. They escalate it. So if you have eight uncles, for example, it will take maybe about 6 months. Because now this one will say, okay, next week. The other one says, no, I'm coming next month. When the message reaches there, so the message must come from the bottom and slowly, and in the 6 months of the message going up the ladder that you want to get married, lots of information
has been gathered.
Is being gathered. And you also are sitting on the corner there. You are being cooked to see, have you really made a decision? Is this what you want?
Is this where you want to go?
And at the end of 8 months or 6 months, sometimes when the message finally reaches your father, umfana uti usekhulile. Then the father does the same method again. Hambo yomtshela ukuthi ngimlindile. Then the uncles again go down. The same route again. So basically, to just for introductions, it would take almost a year.
Yes.
And in this 1 year, you are neither sleeping with her, you are neither greeting her, you've just identified her.
You are still strangers.
And in some certain cases, you've just put what they call a deposit or a shirt or something to say, I'm interested. Please wait for me. And then all this information is gathered. By the time you are being called, because it's not you who marry in my culture, it's the father of the house who marries a wife for the family, and he gives it to you as your partner. So when you want to divorce,
it's the same process again.
Your father will ask you a question. You are divorcing this woman. Whose cows? How many cows did you contribute towards marrying the? Hence, the first wife, the queen in the house. You don't even talk issues of their divorce.
Yes.
They build into the homestead where they stay.
Yeah.
And if you now you feel you are rich, you want to organize a younger women, etc., you build them other smaller houses there. But this one belongs to your father. No, she belongs to the family. She's actually the door through which your father had a permission to be called grandfather. That kind of thing. So it's quite much deeper. So I'm listening to you talking, and I'm in my mind, there's this conversation that is already going in also, that in as much as we're now in a hurry, boom, 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 there's a baby shower, boom, 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 there's an engagement. Next thing you're meeting the guys, no, we've already been to the magistrate.
Kanjani?
No, sesishadile baba, sesicela nje umcimbi nesi. This just
ukwenza party. Sifuna ukwenza party. Nokuhamba kwazo ke kubanjani.
And how much damage is that caused in our society?
Emotionally.
Yeah.
That is why we have broken people who are actually broken other people, because they have never healed where they were actually broken. Umuntu uzophuka inhliziyo. He will move on.
Fast forward, that broken heart.
Bleed to the people that who've never actually broke a heart. That is the situation that we are currently.
When you look around the society today, in only your 4 or 5 fingers, can you outline for me what are the key issues that are causing divorce? Just like quick boom, 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 boom. Take your time.
I think number 1 is we react a lot. It can be a woman or a man. We react to everything. We don't give ourselves time to think about what has actually happened, or we don't even digest incidents that are happening that might cause divorce. We jump
to conclusion.
We react. We are reactionaries. No muntu angenza into encane sewureacta ngiyahamba. Secondly, what I think also add into divorce is communication. We have turned our homes into smackdown wrestling. We fight a lot than communicating a lot. Sometimes communication, it's not when we are both happy or in a space of engaging with we has baba look. Yes. We are not going always to be happy, but we need to build a way. How do we solve problems when we have them?
Conflict resolution.
Exactly. You don't have to raise your voice to make your point valid. You don't have to scream to make your point valid. And the other thing that we mostly do as women, we use yesterday's mistake to win today's argument. That's one of the problems that is actually happening in our homes. We have made our homes courts than a safer space. If we could so if we could as women build our homes a safer space for our partners to come home.
Both sides.
But in most cases, I believe that, I was raised by a woman who actually mothered 35 kids of my father. Kumama wami, we are 6, masihlangene nabagababa, we make 35.
35.
And that alone has has changed. Siba nomcimbi nje sisodwa nje. And what I've learned from my mother, she was not reacting to everything. She built a space where my father would come home, even if sakamoshile. My mom will be the first person that he will talk to. At uyazi ngenze iphutha la. Uzothi mama sewenzeni manje. And then she'll be the first person he confined with. I remember this other day, makunomuntu ofikayo nje lalini ubaba mezawuthi makafuna umama angasondeli kulowa muntu yazi uba ngiyathakatha manyawuza. That woman is very umama no picked up the strategy ukuthi ufikile ke lapha uzothi nalona futhi
the whole village is full of witches. Meanwhile the old man is up to mischief.
He's trying to distance her. She must not be closer to that person because I'm already that. I don't know where did she get that heart, but Mama was not reacting to everything. She has this character of kids are kids, they will grow old. But this is my family. I won't allow anyone from anywhere, or I won't allow one night stand to ruin my marriage, whatever you might call it. And now we are saying I won't allow a 3 cents missed call to ruin my evening. So those are the
not
things.
Not a 3 cents, mama, blue tick.
A blue tick.
I had to counsel one couple where the wife was mad that the husband blue ticked her and did not reply.
Did not reply.
Haimadot.
What if he was in a space where you could not respond? I think also it takes a certain level of maturity to understand such things, and also not to be too judgmental. Try to be in someone else's shoes before you can actually judge them. I don't like to be judged. I do not judge people. I do not like to be questioned, so I don't question people. If you feel like you want to explain, we'll explain. If you don't want to, it's okay. And if we could build that relationship that we don't owe each other anything, but we owe this union.
We owe this home.
Respect. That's it. That is my...
So she mentions communication, overreacting, take time to think, and don't be in a hurry to make decisions. Create a safe space. You said quite a mouthful. When we come back after the break, let's find out this modern life of money and working and etc. and how the financial status that the community and the society has put people under pressure too. Is it possible? Is it true that those that have money have better marriages than those that don't have money? Stay with us. We'll be back right after the break.
Feel the heat.
You said you love me. I do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Leave Brown's man.
Oh no, you don't! Get out of my way! Get out!
That is an abomination.
All the love you promised me.
Do you have a boyfriend? Yeah?
Feel the excitement.
You don't know how I've been longing for this.
Feel the heat with Starsat.
The society that we are living in now, which has lots of expectations when it comes to financial viability. Husbands and wives, women empowerment issues, and women now coming in, and the government support systems, balancing up the inequalities of the past. What sort of environments has this new Empowerment Act, so to speak, or this new era which has come upon us, how much impact has this had on the family? I want to put the first question very clearly. Okay. Have our women I know them using the word our with an understanding, because some people don't want to be called our women. But when we have them, they want to call us our men. But that's for another day. When women now have access to resources, are they prepared to handle resources and still handle their homes? Number two, are the husbands prepared to deal with women who now have access to the same power which they used to have in the past? How is this dynamic of economic empowerment playing itself in the home space? You can hear where I'm going.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to say let's empower. Fine. Now she is earning 3 times more than the husband, and how is this now working? Because initially male ego was based on financial muscle.
Yes.
Do you think the society is ready for women who are more powerful than women? Women who are more powerful than men? And are the men educated enough, societal, psychologically prepared to now to say, it's okay actually, my wife can make more than me. It does not reduce anything of what I have to what she has. And the question is, will a woman who is making 3 times more still find it easy to come home and look after her husband, cook for him, polish his shoes, and that kind of thing? I'm not saying that's what she must do. He can polish his own shoes. But I'm just looking at some of those small little comforts, which in the times past, you could also sit around your veranda and cross your legs. Mama, please let me have some tea, and they will serve each other. I'm trying to find out that space. How do you think this modern era is, and these new policies that are coming into space, how do you think they're affecting the modern homes?
I think what you are saying, Maponga, it goes back. If you could remember, in the olden days, they would say, indoda, and for a man to marry, it means that he has a muscle to look after the family. It means that when you decide to start your own homestead, you've got means, you have saved enough, you worked, you have cows, you've bought a lot of cows for you to be able to look after this family. Like a manch, things have changed because inkomo manje ispatch sako. We don't have crawls anymore where we keep our cows. So we must count your cows on your wallet, in your bank balance. How much do you have? I think it is a responsible thing when even you as the father to send your daughter to somebody who can be able to look after your daughter. It is very sad when you as a parent you will have to look after your daughter.
And your son-in-law. And your
son-in-law. And your grandchildren. What if now it happens that you pass on? Umshiyumtanako kwi state esinjani. Now, currently, you have taken your daughter to school so that they would be able to look after themselves. Now, in this modern arrangement of marriage, unfortunately, you do not have a say because muntu fika sekati babang bonin ntombi. O mina ngithi eish mama kuneleta ingize nayo la bathi ngelangiliso kunabantu who say they are coming. Umama doesn't know the family, doesn't know those people, their behavior, their capacity to look after me, because that one you're
already under pressure as a parent because you don't even have an option. When the letter comes, you're not even given a chance to.
That is why now
them.
We are having ladies who are paying their own lobola. And now when they are under a lot of pressure to look after a man, you have paid my lobola. Unfortunately, Maponga, as a Xhosa woman, I believe that a man must pay my bride price, must be able to look after me. Whatever that I am coming with must add value to what he already has. You can't now marry my education. You can't marry because mina nginema. That's what is actually happening now. Even abafana, they will check what kind of car you're driving, where you're staying.
But also these young ladies who are startups are a problem. Ufuni airtime, you are looking around and say, "Yik, we're gonna start building and etc." And West, when they come with lots of competition, they have expectations the size of the mountain. Before you even build a home, should rather have a weave on her head for 15,000.
Let me tell you, Baba Maponga, it goes back to your choices as a man. What have you chosen? There is what we call now dates. Abantu ababelungu bayibiza ama dates. Not it was there. You would go and scout a girl, check the behavior. Lo muntu njalo ungadikanda uthatha uhlanye uzolifaka endlini. There is what we call dates. Uthatha lo muntu umphuzisa ikhofi lo muntu uhlala kanjani. How does she handle herself? The approach when I speak to her, when the food arrives, how does she behave? When it's time
how does she present the food?
Exactly. Those are the things when ubaba you must look at. Mina kangizukusiza. Makufika ukudla noba ukakho ukafika inyangena ngiyadla, it's your choice. If women order i-sandwich wena or this day esakho sithatha kade sawufika ngicedile la. Those are the things that you
can already see. We are people in a hurry here.
Exactly.
Listen very carefully, guys. Even small little dates when you're going out for a date, Mama is saying, please, slow down, look again, look carefully, check out some of the small little behavioral patterns. Because within those patterns, you may just pick up some of the elements, whether you want to live with that, can that be changed? Or you might have to put up with this for the rest of the life.
But what you guys do is like, when are you coming over? That's what, on that, when are you coming over? When are you seeing me? The only thing you're inviting me into your place. Hey baby, when I'm seeing you, when are you coming to visit me? That one day when you're coming to visit me, I wasn't able to tell no because the space, your first date where you invited this person was not conducive for you to even study this person.
I have one senior bachelor, I won't mention his name, some friends would know him. He lived quite a long time alone and he could not find a woman to marry. And because he was very choosy.
Okay.
He had white sofas in his house, white carpet in his house, white sheets, like clean, educated man. And one acid test was how does the lady treat her underwear? And these ladies would soak their underwears in the sink. That is the last time. He will never see him again. So, but he
knew what he wanted.
He knew what he wanted, and he wanted them clean at a certain level, and, and not knowing how much damage he caused. But ultimately, he got married. But I hear you. He knew what he wanted, and he stayed with his guns. He said, "I will not put up,
not compromise
with a woman who sleeps with dishes that are in the sink. No." With a woman who soaks her panty in my...
When are you going to die compromising? That is the problem that we are having. People are tired of compromising. That is why also we've got a lot of... I can live with this. I mean, I can't stand the smell of alcohol. So if now we die because I like you, because... When am I going to die? Because if every weekend when you feel like drinking... Every weekend because I can't stand this.
And many other things face that way also.
Exactly. Now, this compromise, how long are we going
How long will you compromise?
How long will you compromise?
I want us to move over to the one last question I want to ask you, particularly when it comes to women in positions of power and how women are somehow find themselves short in terms of affecting government policies to protect the rights of women. We cannot always complain and say men are oppressing us, but in some certain cases, women are now in positions of power. They have instruments of legislation in their hands. How do you think they are doing in terms of dealing with women, with problems and issues for women?
I think Maponga, what you are saying is actually very important questions. That we as women, when we take positions of power, when we are given opportunity to decide, we don't create environments where we women, we sit and have these discussions amongst ourselves. What to do, what not to do, what can we change on the policies that are actually protecting women. Well, some of the policies are not favoring us as women. But I think it's about item that our women, us who are in power, especially in political positions where they are able to decide, they must prioritize women basic education, the way we were raised, the way to find ourselves as African.
The last question. If you're the Minister of Women Affairs, what would you do? What would you do differently?
For the Minister of Women Affairs, I would ensure women that you are able, you can lead. You've got this thing within you. Stop standing on the sidelines. Join hands and decide, because this is what we do. We have led homes, we have built homes without Abu Baba Bengeko. Now it's time that even our constitutions, Lapa Nalapit, allows us to actually take positions of power.
Given time to choose between Christian women and cultural women, what will be your option?
I go for culture.
You go for culture.
I go for culture.
There you are. You have it from the horse's mouth today. I'm so excited. I had Umama Khumbuza Bavu.
You know, Ubavu, it's my ex-husband's name. I could not change it because I kept it for my son.
Okay.
I can't take
but
that.
But your sakho zithini?
Mina ngimachucha.
Icho.
Ucekwana usiyongwana umazotsha lamlonkomo ziyabulalana.
Lamnkomo ziyabulalana chigaramba kugara shamba udachira nawe vanji makumbe mwana musende weshano wana chigaramba kwematandano urachiramba kusesera mpona ngokuba wane mashako magaro tisipa chibe mambo vayo muramba kusechiramba kusesera vanopembera namachira machena wila miti ya shoshe until we see again. Don't do what I wouldn't do, but if you decide to do it better.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.